The legend Sun Tzu once said, all warfare is based on deception. And in this video, I will show you how deception was utilized in Age of Empires 2, one of the greatest strategy games the world has ever seen. Now, this is a bit of a different speed for my content, and I hope you like it, because if the feedback is right, I intend to make this into a series. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this masterpiece. Our action begins 5 minutes in to game 1 in a best of 5 tournament game. And many of you might be familiar with this map. This map is Bay from Hidden Cup 4. This tournament was Visible Cup 4, but we can get more into that later on. Now, game 1 in tournaments can bring a lot of nerves, and both of these players are no strangers to the big stage. Both Stark and Capwatch were favorites to make it deep into this tournament. Stark, known for upsets, known for being able to out-strategize people despite being awfully slow compared to other pros. This is Age of Empires 2. Speed is needed. It is not everything, so let me just bring you up to speed with what's happening here. It is the norm to see players contest on water on this map, and you can see both players have docked. And behind this, they're going to collect as much food as possible. They're going to try and rush to feudal age to contest the water with ships. Now, earlier on, Capwatch tried to steal resources from Stark, and Stark scouts spotted him. So as you can see here, Capwatch has been all over the map. Stark has been chasing this scout, and Capwatch's scout is very weak. Now, this is important. This is important because Stark has a plan here, and Stark has a villager running out across the map. If you look at Capwatch's base, he's streamlining everything towards wood, everything towards gold, because he wants to add a second dock. He wants to go fire galleys. What Capwatch cannot see in the darkness is that Stark villager heading to the back corner. Now, scouting is hugely important in Age of Empires, but at the same time, you do kind of get used to the meta. You do get to assume certain things. And for Capwatch, he, of course, is going to assume the enemy is going to do this. So, whether it was because Stark started to attack that scout, maybe Stark realized there was an opening for him. This is, of course, very risky. I'm not sure. But Stark, he's on the move, and he will be right behind enemy lines. Now, I say lines. Normally you're not going to see walls. We'll talk more about that. But Capwatch is going to he's going to win this race to the feudal age. And he has most things on wood, a lot on gold. He actually does not have a lot on food right now because he only needs fishing ships to bring in food. The goal is to have 50 food at a time for each villager producing out of the TC, and Capwatch can accomplish that. Here you've got Capwatch does need to be a little worried about that scout from Stark. And from Stark's point of view, Stark now knows it's double dock for the opponent. Now, what's Stark going to do here? Is he just going to give water to the enemy? That's such a huge eco lead for the enemy if he does that. Well, for now, Stark's trying to be annoying. He's going to use this scout and run around. He, of course, attacked the villager but didn't kill one. And he's going to make a demolition raft. Now, this is a strategy I have seen on this map before because fishing ships tend to clump up. So if you're not going to be able to compete with multiple docks because of the wood cost of other things, then you make one demo, you try and take out their fish, and at least they will have to afford more. And Capwatch hopped out of here with these fires. Capwatch is definitely going to clear out the fishing ships. And Capwatch just loses one. And Capwatch, guys, immediate reaction, immediate score lead. Check it out. He's going to make one more fire galley and immediately add fishing ships. Capwatch has got to be like, what? This is amazing. Stark doesn't know what he's doing. I'm going to win this best of 5 so quickly. By the way, it's worth pointing out that terrain change is a spectator bug. There's no way Capwatch would know that there's anything back here. But there are ways to maybe find out. So look at this. Capwatch is going to send his scout in, and he's got to be confused, right? So he's going to check out and say, what is Stark doing here? Why does he only have one dock? And so here he comes, and he doesn't see a barracks. He doesn't see a stable. He just sees walls. So he's got to be thinking, well, okay, I'm going to have fishing ships. He's just going to farm. I don't know, but he's still checking, right? But guess what? Stark brought his scout back, and eventually Stark's scout is going to be able to kill Capwatch's scout, as Stark is basically playing like someone who does not understand the map, okay? Now, this sneak here was brilliant, but the story doesn't stop here. Stark is making archers out of that range. You're now starting to see Capwatch wall up because Stark might be making something on land. See if maybe Stark with a bit of trickery here. Oh, well done. Okay, the scout's dead. And Stark can now send the scout forward. Now, look at the economy lead. Look at the amount on food for Capwatch. Capwatch has all these fishing ships. There's no way Stark can compete with Food Eco. There's just no way. There's a reason you've got to contest water on this map. So Capwatch, he also, it's worth pointing out, he's over here. And Capwatch hits the deer. And he has Mongols as well, so he gets the hunt bonus. Now, pay attention to the chat here. Okay? So, the scout shenanigans were happening for a while. I'm going to pause. The scout shenanigans were happening for a while, and it did kind of start at the beginning. Now, nothing you would have seen from Stark, I know I sped through it, really indicated that he got screwed up, or in his words, effed up. This is a bold-faced lie. This is to make Capwatch believe that he is dead. He's basically showing a lack of confidence. He's already letting the enemy know, oh, I think you've got me here. Says, you screwed up my start. We'll keep it PG for the kids. Capwatch said, how? And Stark said, I got distracted by Scout. Capwatch says, ah, which is acknowledgement. If you don't play Age of Empires 2, there are taunts, and that would normally make a noise. But we continue. So Capwatch, he has the deer. He's bringing in food with the Mongol hunt bonus. Capwatch is now making a barracks to deal with this Scout. He's walled up. Basically, all the things, I mean, he's not fully walled, I suppose, but all the things you'd want to do, he's currently doing. He has fish. The goal is to get 800 food and 200 gold to go Castle Age and then dominate from there. And you can see that Capwatch is significantly closer to getting there than Stark will ever be. And so here, here comes the surprise, okay? Capwatch thinks that he's going to win this game. He thinks he's going to dominate in this series. He's feeling like he's done everything right. And then the attack noise is going to come in. And he's going to say, what? And he's going to look. And the archers are in on his wood line. So Stark has killed 1 villager. Stark has killed 2 villagers. Stark is going to kill, a little couple misfires there, actually. 3 villagers. And I think we're going to make it 4 villagers here for Stark. No, we're not, actually. Excuse me. I'm wrong on that. Capwatch immediately has to go into damage control mode. He doesn't have army. So as his resources climb to get to Castle Age, he suddenly has to save all of his villagers. So he drops what I would consider a good tower, because that will protect his gold. But now he's had to abandon this wood line. He is on this wood line, but will kind of have to abandon this as well. And look what Stark does with that 1 villager. He's going to build a tower here right behind that gold. So this tower is good against archers, not against another tower. Capwatch is scrambling. And the beautiful thing about this, really, is that Stark has been able to take him off of almost every resource. So he says, okay, Capwatch, I gave you the fish, but guess what? I've got archers at your base now. And he even needs to build a lumber camp to take wood. So both of his lumber camps denied, temporarily off of gold. If you played Age of Empires 2, you know there's a lot of anxiety and panic in these situations. But it is so much more so in tournaments, trust me. I can only imagine Capwatch's heart is racing right now. His mind is racing, and he does not know what to focus on. These villagers have been forgotten about. Here he goes over with the spearmen to try and to stop this. I mean, he can't run out here with villagers. That spearman's going to end up going down there. These archers have not allowed the houses to complete. These archers have been attacking. The scout's still here. It's panic mode. Now, at this point, you're probably already impressed. I know you are, because you YouTubers have good taste. Here come the archers. But this only gets more interesting, all right? I don't remember the exact time. It's going to come in any moment. But it only gets more interesting. Beautiful work from Capwatch there. Damage control with some quick gates, quick walls, and kills 2 archers. But at the same time, as he's doing that, guess what? These units are through. And Stark kills 2 more villagers. What? No, he could have killed that villager. But he's still denying resources, and he's not going to miss out on this one. And now what's so crazy is Capwatch has had the resources to go Castle Age for so long, for the last couple minutes, but hasn't been able to afford the buildings. Has the blacksmith, would need the market, but the market's been denied. Everything that could have gone wrong here has gone wrong. And Capwatch, maybe not too happy about this, maybe realizing he's dead, he says, lol, nice distraction. Now, Stark acknowledges it. Now, this conversation is going to continue, but I need to talk about this before this conversation between these two continues. Capoch now, the shoe's kind of on the other foot. He is kind of letting the enemy know, I think I'm dead, only it's real this time, right? When Stark did it, Stark was expressing that he felt he was behind, and Stark just so happened to not be behind, okay? And Capoch is saying, basically, in one way or the other, saying that he's behind, and they are going to chat it out here, as Capoch is just desperate. Like, this villager goes out here to complete the market. That's not going to happen. That one, by the way, is yes. That one is a taunt that says yes. And so this was the reaction. Now, save your thoughts for the end of the video, please. I have a lot of things to say, and I know there's already going to be people trying to type and give input on this, but this is so fascinating. So this was the whole conversation. Now, from 1924 to 1958, the game was still running, okay? It was paused here, and it was paused by Capoch. And Stark says, I'm glad you liked it, which was probably something he immediately typed right after the pause came in, right? Because they had a message come in. Well, actually, you know what? I'm wrong on that. Sorry. It doesn't like judge the time based on when it was typed. It judges it based on the time of the game. So this is the conversation. Let's break it down. Stark says, I'm glad you liked it, which is very sassy, by the way. Capoch isn't saying nice distraction like, oh, high five, bro. That was really cool. This is sassy, all right? This is to get under the opponent's skin here. And Capoch says, and it's an interesting question. He says, was the chat part of the strat? Because it's bad sportsmanship. Now, let's think about that, okay? There's no way, in my opinion, that Stark set out to play this game. And as that villager's walking across the map, Stark is, in his mind, he's thinking, let's make a barracks, let's make an archer range, let's sneak archers. But, oh yeah, let's say something. There's no way that was part of the initial strategy. I'm sorry. It was probably something he thought of in the middle of the moment, and it ended up working out, right? So Capoch says, now, was this part of the strategy? Because it's bad sportsmanship. There's arguments to be made there that some of this is bad sportsmanship. Some of this is a little bad manners. But I don't think saying you screwed my startup is truly bad sportsmanship. I think saying screw you might be bad sportsmanship, but saying what Stark said was just strategy. It was deception. And Capoch, he says it's not allowed, which is true, by the way, to an extent. Every tournament has rules that you must be a good sport. It's kind of vague, and every tournament has their own rules on conduct. But typically, it's like, make sure you resign if you actually are dead. Do not wait until the last villager. Things like that. It never really dives deep to this type of thing. So, Capoch says it's not allowed. Stark says, no, I don't think so. And Capoch says, so I'll get admin win. Sorry, frowny face, which means I will win this game. Or the series, potentially, depending on what the admin would say. And he's like, sorry. And then he says, ready. He's like, I'm going to get him, you know. And Stark says, well, you can ask later to the admin and he can judge. Capoch says, I'll speak to the admin after. Stark says, sure. And then Stark says, don't be upset. It's just a game. And then says, yes, you can restart. So they go back into the game. The game continues. What intense conversation there, people. Now, I have to say, as good as this video is going to end up being, I like to see people get along, right? I like to see people get along. But if you've watched my Legend of the Liar upload, which I'll link in the description, if you've watched some of my content, I do think chat is a real big part of Age of Empires. And, like, it's hard to say that Capoch he's finally on his way up to the next stage, by the way. He's pretty screwed, but he's finally on his way to the next stage. I really don't think that Capoch would have reacted any differently if the chat wasn't there. I think in the moment, and let's be honest with ourselves, as we're seeing Capoch completely surrounded, Capoch got overwhelmed. he got upset that he got outplayed, and he kind of lashed out a little bit. Now, he didn't lash out with personal attacks, so maybe lash out is the wrong word. But I think he was just upset, right? So I think, like, in a simple man's terms, you could say it was a little bit of whining from Capwatch, right? As he's trying to survive here and get back in business. And, I mean, unfortunately, when things get this stressful, you've had a pause, you've had conversations, your whole base is surrounded. You forget to build houses and gaps. And so Stark sees this as Stark is going to kill more villagers. As Stark even denies the stable. And here, even, Capwatch can't even kill the freaking archers. And so now there's this other element to it, right? There's this other element to it. And it's all about the rest of the series. We're going to see Capwatch try his absolute best to fight back. But if you think of the mentality going into future games in this set, which Capwatch is favored to win, by the way, you know, I think it's pretty safe to say that win or lose here for Capwatch, he might be a little rattled, you know, as Stark has now 2 stables in the back of the enemy base, a monastery in the back of the enemy base. I mean, Capwatch can take resources. Now, he is... Okay, I should have noticed this. He just came over here to this gold, which is in the middle of the map. Those 4 villagers were there earlier. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that Capwatch is going to be a little rattled here. Is credit to him. He is trying to find his way back into this game. Now, the food income in the middle, and this is a sad moment for him, is completely gone. These 8 fishing ships are now idle. You can see his idle eco time just skyrocketing. He's not going to have the food to make any more knights, and he actually does not have a completed market. I think yet he might go over here to do this now, but he can't even buy food. So he's got a few farms. That's not going to be enough for knight production. Look how weak the villagers are in this eco. It's a struggle, and it's a struggle, and oh yeah, a little bit more of a struggle. As Stark at home is sitting pretty. Stark is sitting pretty. Stark doesn't have to stress too much. You can consider this a little bit of a risk. He wants to recover some stone so he can make a second town center. But, you know, as far as Stark's concerned, he just needs to continue to make knights. He just needs to continue to keep Capwatch off with his gold. And it is still a relatively even game in terms of eco, but that is deceiving, again, because these fishing ships are not working right now. And what you need is 100 wood to make a fish trap. Now, I think another thing to bring up here, which is important, is just like how much damage you have to do and how good the timing has to be to have any success with what Stark has done here. You know, he killed so many villagers, and yet Capwatch was still able to have a castle age which was 30 seconds behind Stark's. Now, the aftermath of this is going to be pretty brutal, and you're seeing that now as the knights dive in. I'd like to see Stark pull the weak ones back to the monastery so the monks could heal them up. That'd be good value. It looks like he has every intention of doing that. But, you know, as he pulls back here, it really needed... It's that many villager kills and still was somewhat even with the uptime. So, you know, what I was thinking was maybe there's a world where Stark is just going to heal these knights up and make more. Maybe there's a world where if there was more fish here, Stark would then dock to take the water, but these fishing ships are useless. And what that does is that adds to your population. That adds to your score even in the game, which is based on so many different factors in the game. And Stark is just going to end up booming this game out. And boom, he will. Second TC, more villagers from home, all safe, of course. I think Stark right now knows he's like, I got this game, right? Capwatch is trying. Capwatch is struggling. Capwatch, he's doing the right thing, and he is not going to try and do anything more than just stay on one town center. You start to try and add a second one, you don't have the economy to even make knights to keep up with the opponent right now. Good luck being able to create villagers out of that, and also knights. Great game here, though, to start off that whole series. Like, this is incredible, and there's more things I'll say about what happens in the upcoming games. What an interesting one. Because these knights are going to loop around and just try and get back. It looks like that monk will get a conversion there. And there you go for Capwatch. I mean, not too bad for him. I just can't help but laugh at this little city that Stark has built up over here. Almost looks like an episode of Loey the Legends, man. And I think Stark is probably leaning off the aggression just a little bit. Capwatch is, of course, completely rattled and scared of this attack. So we're going to see another town center here for Stark. He's got a monastery at home to get any conversions if knights come in. Yeah, Stark is just going to make sure that he's distracting Capwatch and also booming up at home. And most of you probably know this, but the most important thing in Age of Empires is villager count. You need villagers, and you need monks in this situation as well if you're Stark. Monk goes down, a few villagers will go down. There's actually a monk inside the town center as well, but... Okay, monk goes down there for Stark. Looks like Capwatch was a little hesitant to eject that monk. But he can't engage this. There's always more monks for Stark. So this cannot be engaged, otherwise these things are going to get wall-loaded right over to his team. And the lead is now growing for Stark. I think he seems to be... What's interesting about Stark is how he doesn't seem to really be in a rush for these transitions. It's nice and smooth. He's such a great player. And there he's going to convert his knight back. That knight's very confused. But I mean, this town center, a lot of people would build it with 5 villagers. He's like, it doesn't matter to him. I have the lead. And I'm going to make sure I maintain the lead by not throwing away any army. I'm going to hold as much control as possible. And I will eventually get to that 3rd town center anyways. Siege Workshop now for Stark. So what's crazy about this is he's controlling the main gold. He's controlling the 4-tile gold. Vill lead now growing ever so slightly for the Brazilian. You know, to add to the rivalry a little bit, by the way. I don't know if I can really relate to it, but it is a Brazilian versus an Argentinian. And I know there's definitely some rivalry there. At least in sports, there tends to be from time to time. It's always good to see, I guess times are changing nowadays, but, you know, Argentina and Brazil have just had incredible teams over the years in football. I really like how Stark was never in a rush to get enough, like, too many upgrades here. Like, he's just so comfortable. I would want to go all in. I want to get ahead of a guy and kill him. But he said, no, you know what? Capwatch is really good at defending. He's respecting his opponent's skill by just gradually building up to what this is going to end up being. He actually did not react here. So much focus on the front. And Capwatch is getting some villager kills. And there we go. Stark reacts. And that does hurt. But I'll tell you what else is going to hurt. It's going to hurt if Capwatch loses this town center. And as long as Stark is paying attention to this, as long as the monks are focused there, they're going to end up getting conversions. But Capwatch could get conversions. And Capwatch, oh, unlucky there, I think, with the monks. Actually, might end up getting them anyways. The monks continued their conversions, and there you go. TC, though, is on the way down. You have another TC for Capwatch as he's trying to get to a castle. And that's definitely something you've got to be worried about if you're Stark. Mongols have one of the best unique units in the game in the Mangadai. Look at the overall eco numbers, though. So much on wood, so much on gold, food. Only thing that Stark doesn't really have a lot of is stone. Because he forgot to ungarrison this TC. Oh, man. He forgot to ungarrison that town center, Stark. Because of those 2 knights. And it's not because he sees them there, right? I think it's because he just forgot about it. He thinks they're all working. He knows if he looks away from his monks for a second, all the gold will go down the drain. So, just worried about that. And okay, now we're going to see Capwatch try his best to get a castle down here. Now, this castle is going to be huge for 2 reasons. First, it gives you a security blanket, so you don't lose your town center. And second, it's going to allow you to produce some Mangadai. Big Mangonel shot. That Mangonel was pretty much the only thing that Capwatch had to worry about. And I think you guys might be seeing why Capwatch was actually the favored player in this series. I thought he was going to be dead 10 minutes ago, but no, he's still alive. I don't know about well, but he's still alive. And maybe Capwatch can, well, he can't comfortably take this gold yet, but maybe he can take out the tower. Maybe drop a town center here. He's going to drop a town center out here, actually. That was maybe a little late here. I think maybe he could have rushed that up a while ago. And Stark's got this random, silly little army. And Stark is going to go up to the Imperial Age now with a 30 villager lead. And these players have been so focused. Credit to them. So focused on the game. These villagers need to find another area to chop wood. But Stark's got plenty of wood, so no worries there. And yeah, Stark is now even going to wall in the gold there. And this gold is of course, crucial to Capwatch. The good news is on Bay, the general idea is to expand to get other resources. It's funny that that was not really a concern here for... Or sorry, it's funny how it's not something that has played out the same in this game. Or what am I talking about? Like, this is still important, but normally you would get to that and then you move out to the other gold. Sorry, my brain, a little bit of brain fog. So focused on the other shenanigans. So here comes Stark. And he just was able to run around the dock there. And he's actually trying to save himself at home. And Capwatch ends up taking some losses there. Maganel, villagers, some knights. The monks are here as well. But what Stark is really going to want to end up doing here is raiding this woodline. Like Stark has he's occupied the north of Capwatch's base. Stark. Never mind, to take it all back. But yeah, he's occupied the north, so he's forced Capwatch towards the middle. And that's a position that will be pretty easy for Stark to deny, I think. Now here comes Capwatch, and he has a big army. And that army would actually beat Stark's army. Plus, Stark's army is not really in position. And he's going to go now for a forward castle at Stark's base. The downside really is, as long as this is able to be defended with some military units, as Stark is going to start off by getting some cav armor and cavalier. But Stark has the stone to drop a castle. So if Stark realizes this castle is going up, Stark could just drop a castle on the other side and then start making trebuchets. I really think Stark made a mistake with these knights. He could have attacked these villagers. He's definitely not followed this up in a perfect way. And we will talk more about that in this game, trust me. And Stark's going to try and drop a castle here, though. And unfortunately, I mean, this really is giving Capwatch time. He's got to send all of his knights back. And Capwatch isn't really interested in making Mangudai right now. A little bit of a surprise, but the knights are certainly doing fine. The downside, though, is that Cavalier is going to take care of these knights. And Cavalier could take care of these villagers as well. Okay, Stark, you had a moment where you missed it earlier. Surely you see this. And, oh boy, the jackpot, baby. Woo! These knights are feasting. And not only do they get 20 free villagers today, they get the win. Right before the Cavalier upgrade. Capwatch ends the game. This is game 1. Unless everything was... that I know is wrong, this is game 1. And trust me, what I know is correct. There were more games after this because I have information to give you. And Capwatch says, GG, congrats. A little bit of salt, perhaps, I think. Yes. Listen, we all have rough days. We all get salty. Not all of us. Maybe everyone's cheerful out there. But I can kind of understand the frustration in himself when this strategy happened. But I really do think that this deception was beautiful from Stark and oh so rare as well. Now, a little bit of story time as we look at the statistics for this game. After this game, an admin was involved. So they went to admin and they said, hey, admin, this is the situation. I don't want to like air all their dirty laundry. I don't want to put the whole conversation here. This isn't a trial, okay? This is an Age of Empires game. But basically what ended up happening was the admin looked at things and the admin said, this game counts, but Stark don't do that anymore. That's pretty much what happened, right? Capwatch was upset. He felt it was unsportsmanlike. And I will touch on that a bit more. But admin gave Stark his win. And then the next day after this series even added a rule publicly that players cannot type about anything. Like they basically can't say anything except good luck, have fun, and GG. And just like very short bursts of activity with the chat. Now, I think this was brilliant. And I think that this made the strategy so much better. And Capwatch, per his words, actually felt like this made it more successful. Because if Capwatch didn't think that, he wouldn't say, lol, nice distraction was that chat part of the strat. Maybe he was just grasping for straws, or maybe he took the bait and that there was just a giant old hook and that hooked his lip and it was painful. I mean, I think he took the bait hard. The guy lost his scout. He then felt like he had the lead because Stark said, you screwed up my start. Capoch acknowledged that comment and then got destroyed by it. This is a beautiful Age of Empires game. Now, I don't know if we're going to dive deep into this one, but this series did go the distance, and it went down to the final game, and Stark ended up winning the best of 5. Now, this is with Stark coming in as the underdog. It's not like he wasn't favored to win a game, but he was the underdog. And Stark, afterward, had a few things to say, and he said, first off, the chat was not part of my strategy, but I realized he was getting upset by my comments. And so when he said, was the chat part of your strategy? I thought about it and I said, well, if I say yes, he's going to get a little butthurt. If I say no, then, he's going to get less butthurt. And Capoch being butthurt helps me win. He said, if I play standard, I get wrecked by Capoch. Capoch is top 10 on the ladder. I have to think outside the box in any way I can. This is a strategy game. And that is exactly what Stark did here. The art of deception. The legend Sun Tzu said all warfare is based on deception. Hence, when we were able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must appear inactive. And when we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. And when we're far away, we must make him believe we are near. Some of that definitely happened here in this game. And, it's just incredible to me how deep we could dive into this game, how many things we could pick apart, how much there was to say about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It is my intention to have this analysis series continue. With the recent changes on my channel, what I'm trying to do is increase the quality of the YouTube uploads. I, of course, have all that streaming content. That keeps me busy. But with the amount of support you guys have given me over the years and the channel growing, I'm investing back into this channel. I want these videos to be better, and there's so many good games out there. This is one of them. So if you can do me a favor, I'm not the YouTuber to really do this. I feel a little cheesy doing it, but I feel like considering the work we're putting into this and how much we care about this project, we've got a team now working on everything. It is something I will ask of you because I need to know if you guys are actually appreciating this, and I tend to see that with some of the statistics. So just like the video, let a comment or leave a comment in chat letting me know that either what you thought or that you want to see more of this. Share it with your friends, share it with your buddy, the usual stuff. Just let me know if you enjoyed this and give me support in any way you can. That would be awesome because I have ideas, I have games, and I really think that we can make this series something special, really break down games and get back to what Age of Empires 2 is for a lot of people. It's not just spamming units, okay? It's not just spamming eco. It's not about that. It really is beautiful, and it's a work of art, which is why I love the game, and I'm addicted to it. So that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for everything. There will be more analysis in future uploads.
There's this guy. His nickname is currently standing among the top 10 players. He is Capoch. He's 2K5. He reached 2K5. Do you know how many times I reached 2K5 in my whole AoE career? Not even once, guys. So I know that Capoch is ahead of me at this point. I know that he probably has more skills. He's a more experienced player. He played in the past. I know that he was a better player. What I have to do? I have to come up with some strategy to kill him.